Let me know if the volume's alright. My mom is sleeping, so I'm gonna watch it. Okay, okay. Alright, guys.
Metroid. It's one of Nintendo's most iconic franchises, and it all started back on the original Nintendo
True, but
Entertainment
Nintendo
System
wouldn't know.
back in the 1980s.
Now they're finally
So the player
starting to
blasts through aliens and explores the world they're dropped
get Metroid
into.
back in
They're
there.
left with the feeling of awe. Most players want this feeling to last as long as possible and explore every last inch of every room in the game.
It's true,
But
when they
some
did.
people play Metroid a little bit differently.
Yeah, they speedrun the game. Okay. Nintendo games. What did you guys think of the Nintendo Direct, by the way? What are your thoughts? It was unfortunate what happened to August stream. I was lagging a little bit too in my stream. It's kind of weird. 0 out of 10, no Pokemon. I liked it. Can't wait for Splatoon 3 DLC though. Isn't it out today? Wave 4 looks awesome, by the way. The Yoshi's Island stage is awesome, dude. Mario Kart is great.
The history of the NES Metroid world record can be traced back to 2004.
Okay.
The player was a guy I've talked about a lot, and a guy who should probably be known as one of the greatest video game players of all time, Scott Kessler.
Okay, Scott Kessler, remember that name, guys.
Seconds.
He's the greatest. He's the GOAT. 22 minutes and 19 seconds is pretty crazy time for Metroid on the NES.
For those unfamiliar with Metroid, the eventual goal is to beat Mother Brain.
Oh, it comes on spring.
That, of course,
what's
there's
up,
so
Nico?
much more that most
Hello.
players have to do. Get items that let you deal more damage, pick up more health, other attributes, and beat 2 mini-bosses, Kraid and Ridley, that allow you to get to Mother Brain in the first place.
Dang, I forgot
So,
they look
Kessler
like that
started
back
off
in
his
the
run by
day.
stocking up on missiles and getting other items and health. He traveled through Brinstar to pick up his first 5 missiles, an E-Tank to boost his health to 199,
Okay.
bombs, the Ice Beam, and another E-Tank. In all, he spent around 8 minutes and 45 seconds in Brinstar before heading down the elevator into Kraid's lair to get ready to fight Kraid.
This music is awesome, by the way. Summoning Salt is the guy that I'm watching his channel.
Lair,
I'll link him in the
navigate into
description.
the room before
I'm gonna make a video
and
after
began to farm
this.
for missiles. See, when you kill an enemy in Metroid, it can
His
have the
editing's
chance of
awesome.
dropping a random item, and one of those items it can drop is a missile. Kessler needed 5
Gonna
missiles to
spoil
break
one thing,
open
sure.
the red door to get to the Kraid fight, so he spent about a half-minute shooting Giga to get the 5 missiles he needed to randomly drop.
Really?
Then it was on to the Kraid fight. Kessler's strategy here was to simply roll into a ball and lay bombs everywhere, hoping that they would explode on Kraid and damage him. The
Okay.
strategy was slow, but safe and effective. The fight itself took about a minute, and then he picked up a hidden E-Tank and got out. Kessler then had to climb out of Kraid's lair, in a section that would be known as the Climb.
The
His method
climb,
was to simply
lads.
shoot the blocks above him, then jump and let the blocks that respawn below him push him
Oh,
farther
okay.
up.
Okay.
Once
That's a good
again,
idea.
This was pretty slow, and it took him about 2.5 minutes to get back up to the elevator.
It is slow though, yeah.
He then went into
We'll
the
see how they
infamous
improve
statue
it.
room. This room is more or less the gateway between the rest of the game and Mother Brain. Normally, once you've defeated both Kraid and Ridley,
Oh yeah, I saw
shoot
that golden.
both of their statues in this room and a bridge appears, allowing you to travel across and enter Turian to fight Mother Brain.
Okay.
The developers intended for you to have to defeat both bosses before making it across. If you try to go down into the lava pit, there's no way of making it through the 1 tile wide opening on the left.
Right, right.
Thankfully, there's a
I
way
remember
around
this.
having to defeat both Kraid and Ridley.
This was a game that I played back in the day. Bridge skip, let's go!
This trick is one of the oldest I've ever documented in this series. There's reference to it from a Nintendo Fun Club magazine
We all
from
love bridge skip.
1987. If you lure a Rio into the statue room, you can freeze him with your Ice Beam in just the right position. Then you roll into a ball, use a bomb to propel Samus up, and roll through the small opening.
Okay,
So,
that's
Kessler
smart.
could get to Turian without needing to fight Ridley. He still fought Kraid, however, to get the 75 missiles you receive for killing him. These would come in handy later.
Okay.
After
Lot of
getting through
missiles.
the statue room, Kessler took the elevator down into Turian. He farmed a bunch of the Metroids for more health and missiles, and then very carefully navigated through the Mother Brain room. His playstyle here was pretty safe, traveling under the platforms and freezing any rings that came near him. He used the missiles he gained from the Kraid fight and from farming to blast through the 8 pillars before finally reaching Mother Brain and
There's
firing
Mother
the 33
Brain.
missiles necessary
Mother
to
Brain needs to
defeat
be
her.
in Smash,
Mother
bros.
Brain was dead. But anyone who's played Metroid knows
I
there's
think
one
that's
final part
everybody
left.
wants that.
You've got to jump up from tiny platform to tiny platform to escape from the planet and beat
Yep,
the game.
and this will
It
be
may not seem
relevant
too
in
hard,
Super
but imagine
Metroid
trying to
2.
do this as quickly as you can with the knowledge that you're on world record pace. Mistakes usually
True.
aren't punished too heavily here, and you can often just land on the platform below if you slip up. But if it's coming down to the wire, and you can't afford to waste any seconds, then you've got to be perfect. You can't let your run go to waste at the last second. One slip up, and your run is over.
Man, at the very end of the game too.
Thankfully for Scott Kessler, he didn't really have to worry
Sonic
about that.
Schoolhouse.
This was the first recorded run that we're aware of from anybody, so all he had to do was climb up and finish the game. And he did.
Oh yeah, Mother
Total
Brain is an
time of
assist
22
trophy.
minutes
You were right.
and 19 seconds.
Great, you fulfilled your mission. Okay.
This run would end up standing for about a year and a half.
It's a
But
pretty
guy
long time
named
for
Blake
speedrun.
Pifo, better known by his screen name Spider Waffle,
Spider
saw room for
Waffle.
improvement.
I
And
like
he had a
that.
few tricks up his sleeve to help him get there.
Was it like a waffle made of spider?
Scott Kessler's run was good
Or
for
a,
the time,
a spider made
but
of
many of his
waffle?
techniques for moving
batter.
around the stages and farming missiles became outdated. To help with his movement, Spider Waffle practiced the game on an emulator, likely using save states to help him do sections over and over again. To
Yeah,
get
that's a
better,
smart way to do it.
as well as gaining quicker, more precise movements in many of the rooms in Brinstar. He developed a new method for farming missiles after getting bombs.
Okay.
Instead of
How did you
shooting
do
each
it?
enemy individually, he grouped multiple enemies and used bombs on them.
Oh, that's smart too. Wait, how is Zero Suit Samus making a bomb there? Huh?
Thanks to early
2005.
time saves like these, on August 27th, 2005, Spider
Good
Waffle
year.
got on a run that went into Kraid's lair at 7 minutes and 53 seconds. 52 full seconds ahead of Scott Kessler. He used a more effective strategy in the Kraid fight that involved freezing a needle to prevent getting knocked back.
Oh, really?
and then
That's
spammed
cool.
Kraid with shots to the body.
Dang, that's smart.
This fight alone saved about half a minute over Kessler's fight, and Spider Waffle saved close to a minute on the climb out of Kraid's lair as well.
That's just
Instead of
optimization
slowly
right there.
waiting for each block to respawn to move up a block at a time, Spider Waffle moved up by shooting blocks above him to land,
Yep.
then clearing
It's
space to
way
jump
more
even
efficient.
higher. Once he made it back up to Torian, Spider Waffle was nearly 3 minutes ahead of Scott Kessler's run. But he wasn't done saving time yet. When he needed to farm for missiles in Torian, he did so beautifully,
Okay.
grouping Metroids together and getting good luck with receiving a lot of missiles. From there, he defeated Mother Brain, made his way out
I didn't
to the
realize
escape,
Mother Brain had a
and
little
finished his
face
speedrun.
on.
3
I thought it was
minutes
just like
and
a
37
big brain
seconds
and that
ahead
was
of
it.
Scott Kessler.
But no, I just
Spider Waffle
realized
finished the game in 18 minutes and 42 seconds.
this is
on
where the
August
game was
27th,
sussy.
2005.
Nintendo used to be like, you beat the game fast enough,
Now the
here's
progression starts
Samus
to
in,
get
in a
little bit strange.
bikini.
A couple months
No
after
joke.
Spider Waffle's run, a guy named Chris Knight beat it and submitted it to Twin Galaxies. His final time was 17 minutes and 22 seconds. Nowadays, the footage of this run no longer exists, because back in the day, Twin Galaxies only required
Twin
the referees to see
Galaxies
video of the run.
Is a
After they saw it,
scam.
who knows what happened to the footage?
Allegedly,
So we can't see
allegedly.
this run today, but according to their website, his run was verified on October 30th, 2005. And also, his run apparently stood unbeaten for 7 years.
Seven years?
It's really rare to see speedruns stand for incredibly long periods of time.
I'll say.
Even really
7 years is
optimized runs
forever.
like Super Mario Bros. Have their records broken with some regularity. That run was lowered from 5 minutes and 6 seconds to 4 minutes and 58 seconds from the
That's
same
still
period of
crazy.
time.
I just feel like whoa.
But nobody was able to beat Chris Knight's run. The main reason for that was because, for a period of time, Metroid speedrunners tended to focus their efforts on all bosses speedruns, where you had to defeat both Kraid and Ridley, and 100% speedruns, where you had to collect every item in the game. When you're playing any percent, where you only
Sure.
defeat Kraid,
Any percent
there's
is
points where you need
finish as
missiles to
fast as
drop
possible.
to open doors, defeat bosses, whatever the reason may be. If you don't get missiles quickly from your farming, you're basically screwed. Knight apparently did beat his own run a few times in mid-2012, but he didn't show anybody the recordings and he didn't submit his times anywhere, so nobody really knew about it. In everyone's eyes, the world record was his 17:22. But then, in late 2012, somebody
Here
was
we go,
finally
2012,
tasked.
baby.
JProfit22. He started his timing a little bit later
Mediocre
than Chris
year.
Knight did, about 7 seconds. So going by his timing, the time to beat was 17 minutes and 15 seconds. Going into the escape, it was going to be close.
Easy back. Yes, it is.
Is he gonna screw up?
What?
Oh no, he screwed up! No, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose, bro. No, he screwed up again and again.
Fucking rhythm is way off here.
Oh, language warning.
Because I don't fucking get to this part nearly.
Eh. He's under a lot of stress. Did he get it?
17-15-07? Did I just beat on?
Remember how I said the escape could be potentially dangerous? Well, there you go. A tied world record.
A tied one.
17
Wow.
minutes and 15 seconds of intense gameplay later, it couldn't be determined who was faster. However, this record wouldn't remain tied for long. Chris Knight would soon blow everybody's run out of the water. On March 16th, 2013, he had a great run going down into Kraid's lair thanks in part to getting great missile luck. He then did a really quick Kraid fight, where he just got right up in Kraid's face and spammed missiles.
That works too.
And after an even faster climb out of Kraid's lair, where he used the platforms
They're
to fix the blocks
mastering
to
these
jump up higher,
blocks.
and a really fast bridge skip where he froze the Rio in midair while jumping on top of it.
Oh,
He
that's
was way ahead
brilliant.
going into Torian. But his biggest time save by far was the hallway in the Mother Brain room.
Okay.
Instead of the
What do you
safe
do?
method of going beneath each platform and shooting anything that got near him, Knight got on top of the platforms and ran right up to each pillar to shoot it. He was at risk of getting hit more, but he played really beautifully here. He just kept charging forward endlessly. He was
Nice.
careful to conserve his health, but he wasn't stopping for anything. He was getting to the end. After finishing the escape, Chris Knight had beaten Metroid in 15 minutes and 43
Dang.
seconds. A minute
That's
and
a
half
huge
from
time.
A record that had stood for 7 years.
Especially
People who saw
7
this run
years
just
too.
after it was posted all agreed that it was one of the greatest speedruns that they'd ever seen. Getting the missile luck that he got, along with all of the other insane execution, was nearly impossible to replicate. If anyone wanted to beat this run, there's going to need to be some serious strategy changes. So, there's one important thing I haven't explained yet. The rules of a Metroid speedrun.
Okay.
Historically,
Let's
the
hear
most
'em.
common rule set for
Summoning
Metroid
Salt,
runs have
Mr.
included the
Salt.
following two rules. You can't do an up and A warp, and you can't do a death warp. An up and A warp is a strange feature that was built into Metroid and a few other NES games at the time,
Huh?
notably The Legend of Zelda. If you pause the game with one controller, then press up and A on the second controller, you'll be warped to the start of whatever area you're in.
Really?
A death warp
That's
is
weird as
similar.
heck.
If you take a death,
What?
you get sent to the start of the area you're in as well. These both can save you multiple minutes. In Kraid's lair, for example, you normally need to climb
Yeah,
all
I
the
would
way out of
imagine that
Kraid's
would be
lair to
against
make
the
your way
rules,
into
honestly. Up A
If you
warp?
instead
I
just
didn't even know that
take a death
existed.
right after defeating Kraid,
That's
or
kinda
do an
crazy.
up and A trick, you will immediately get taken back to the elevator. So, since you cannot warp, the category is actually known as any percent warpless. But up through 2013, there was one more rule that players abided by. No glitches.
Okay.
This is a pretty
What's a
controversial
glitch in this
topic.
game?
A lot of you out there watching probably hate glitches and would love to see them all banned from speedruns. This was the mentality of a lot of major speedrunning websites years in the past. One of those websites, where nearly
I think
everybody was
glitches
submitting their
definitely
Metroid speedruns,
Make
was
speedruns
Speed Devil's
less
Archive.
fun to
Since
watch.
they banned most glitches for Metroid, people did their speedruns without glitches. That's why the runs I've talked about up to this point are all glitch-free.
Yeah.
But as time went on, people just said, forget Speed Devil's Archive, we're gonna use glitches anyway. This is precisely what Chris Knight decided to do in 2014. And there was one glitch in
This is where the
particular he was
speedrunning
about to
scene
use that would
really
forever
kinda blew
change
up.
The way people played Metroid.
The door jump. What's the door jump?
The door jump is a famous
Thanks
trick
for
that can
telling
help
me.
you access different areas of the game quicker. It's performed by shooting a door open, then letting it close on top of you.
Huh?
Then you press up and down,
No.
repeatedly, and Samus will begin to move upward. You can either get further up the screen by going all the way up,
You kidding
or you
me?
can
That's
go below
crazy.
the screen by screen wrapping onto the bottom. The main reason why this was huge for speedruns is because now, there was no need to go out of your way to pick up bombs. At the start
True.
of the glitchless runs,
When you have a door run, you don't
always
need
want to pick
bombs.
up all of the items and health that you needed.
And that caused a lot
One
of
those
time
items
to be
was
wasted.
bombs, and you had to take about 2 minutes navigating to and from them. And the main reason players needed the bombs were to bomb the floor to get to new areas. Now, instead of doing that, as long as there was a door there, you could just door jump, and then screen wrap to the bottom.
That's wild. I did not know about
in November
that.
2014, Chris Knight had a run with this new door jump route. He was streaming it live on his twitch.tv account, and there were splits in the upper right hand corner, but they weren't splits for his old world record run, and I'm not really sure what they're for, so just ignore them. While he did save a couple of minutes from not having to pick up the bombs, the door jumps themselves ate up a bit of that time. He also couldn't farm as efficiently without bombs, having to shoot enemies individually instead of grouping them together with bombs.
Makes sense.
You have to keep in mind, the last glitchless run that he did was literally insane, so he did start to bleed some time. His crate fight was slower, he didn't get amazing luck with his missile farming, his climb out of Kraid's lair was safer, he had to do a
Yo, if you want to post your arena info, I'll pin it.
and he hesitated a little more in the mother brain room. By the end of the escape, nearly all of the 2 minutes the door jump saved was gone, but not all of it. He finished the run 17 seconds ahead of his world record, with the final time of 15:26. By
Okay.
early 2015, a new competitor had entered the scene, Controller Head. He developed a few
A
new
great
strategies,
classic.
including a way to get
Indeed,
to speed
ICS.
in one swift jump to the top. His crate fight was also very clean.
Holy God, I'm wrecking Craig right now.
Craig.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, buddy.
He got a nice bridge skip, and as you can see from his splits in the
It's a
corner
good
of
one.
the screen, he was on a really good looking run heading into Torian. And after defeating Mother Brain, he knew he was on world record pace. The chat was hyped, he was hyped, and there was just one
He doesn't look very hyped, honestly.
Escape.
Let's fucking go.
Whoa.
This is definitely it. This is it.
You guys know what emoticon or emoji to use?
About fucking time.
Dang it.
This is it.
Yup. Alright.
15-15. Yeah, baby. That's it.
He
About
got
fucking
it.
time.
He got the world record.
For 7 years,
For real?
nobody was able to lower the Metroid any percent warpless world record. Between the combined efforts of Chris Knight and Controller Head, it had now been lowered 3 times
What's up,
in the
Ninja?
past 2 years. But as quickly as it began, the category entered another period of relative inactivity. Controller Head's 15-15 stood on top throughout the remainder of 2015 and through 2016. And then, in early 2017,
Bombs.
a new challenger came along. His username was Metroid McFly.
Metroid
His personal
McFly, I
best
like
started
it.
off innocently enough, finishing off runs in the 16 to 17 minute range. But that March, he went all out. An ultimate grind to take the Metroid world record, a run that had remained unbeaten for 2 years.
Let's go. Metroid McFly, I want to steal that name.
Oh, guys, 1556. Hell yeah. Hell yes.
Danger zone. It's friends only. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to make an arena, I'll pin it
That's what I'm talking about.
or make it public or whatever. Okay. He's doing it. This is a pretty flawless execution here.
Alright, guys.
All right, Metroid McFly.
What's up?
Nice showing.
$14.54. After half a dozen personal bests over the course of a month, Metroid McFly had brought the Metroid Any% Warpless world record under 15 minutes. He played the game so much that March that he was starting to get tired of the grind. He wanted some different challenge. Like I mentioned before, the route to
Super
the game
Metroid?
was used, picking up items and fighting Kraid before heading into Torian, revolved extensively around missile luck. If missiles didn't randomly
Never
drop
played
when you needed
Metroid.
to, then you were out of luck and would have to reset.
Great game.
McFly didn't want to wait for missiles anymore, so he began searching for new options. He would end up arriving at a tool-assisted speedrun of Metroid from 2008 made by a guy named Lord Tom. If you don't know what a tool-assisted speedrun is, I'll
A
try to give a better
TAS.
description
Oh,
of it in my
man.
previous videos. It's when somebody goes in an emulator in order
Pay attention,
to create
guys.
a theoretically perfect speedrun. There's tools that they can take advantage of. Slow motion, save states, or advancing frame by frame, for example, that can all be used to create a series of extremely precise inputs all the way throughout the run. This particular tool-assisted speedrun showcased a pretty strange method of making it through the game. Lord Tom
What's up,
literally
JBL?
picked
How
up
are you doing?
nothing at the start of the game. Instead, he door jumped right into Kraid's lair and arrived there less than a minute after
Yeah.
beginning the game. He then defeated Kraid and made his way into Torian to progress with the rest of the game.
Nah, I just wanted to know,
Now, if
let you guys know what a
human could pull this
tool-assisted
route off,
speedrun
It
is.
would be huge. There would be no need to collect the first missile pack or the ice beam at the start of the run. To illustrate this, here's a large image of the map of Metroid. You spawn
It's a big
here.
map.
If you want to pick up the missile pack, you have to go all the way.
It's a long way, dude. For a speedrun? Nah.
Then
Nah.
to pick up the ice beam, you'd have to
I'm
go
doing well,
all the way.
JBL. Thanks for asking. Yeah, there's the ice
Here.
beam.
And then to make your way all the way back down to Kraid's lair,
No worries,
you have to
ICS.
follow this path way, way, way back. This whole process would take about 6 minutes of real time.
Whole process,
instead, with
jeez.
this route, named Kraid First, you would go straight to Kraid
Craig
and defeat him
First.
without any items, then pick up the ice beam on your way back to Torian, since it was more or less on your way. But there were some severe problems.
Okay,
You
let's
see,
hear him.
you needed to door jump in just the right way at 2 different locations in order to get dropped right into Kraid's room. They both involved navigating off-screen in different rooms, rapping from the ceiling
Like
to
the
floor
Super
in
Mario
more
Kart
ridiculously
music.
Precise.
So
In
good.
fact, for years these were believed to be humanly impossible, but a guy named The Tycoon carefully developed methods to make the clips just barely possible in March 2017. I'll leave out the exact technical details, but the videos are in the description if you're interested. You also needed to defeat Kraid without the ice beam. You couldn't take very much damage and you couldn't freeze any of Kraid's shots, so you'd have to maneuver around everything Kraid threw at you. Like
Which is a
this.
lot. He's like,
It would take
he's like a
hours of
Simon
practice
Belmont in
with
Super
McFly to
Smash
get
Brothers,
decent
bro.
at it, and many more to master it.
Look at all that.
And finally, when you were climbing out of Kraid's lair before getting the ice beam, there was a ripper you would normally have to freeze with the ice beam to jump off of to reach the sledge. You obviously couldn't do that since you didn't have the ice beam yet, so McFly's
Me the
solution was
ice
to
beam,
roll onto
McFly.
him, get damage boosted up, unmorph in midair, and then jump to the platform. He had a 60th of a second to time this to reach the platform. So, was doing all of this humanly possible? Nobody knew at first, but Metroid McFly proved all doubters wrong on April 29th, 2017.
Man, 2017. This.
Way too much damage.
I wonder what the game's like these days.
We are in there, dude. Well, what do we got? 1422.
Parts of it were slow. The door jumps were still new to him, the Kraid fight took a while, and Torian wasn't the fastest, but he had something to work with. Now the
Sure.
question was, how far could he take this game? The very next day, he beat his own record by 35 seconds, largely thanks to doing the door jumps faster.
Yeah, alright. 1348, dude.
That's even
Then
better.
2 days
Wow.
After that,
Holy
he
crap.
cleaned up his movement in Torian and beat the record by 34 more seconds.
Okay. 34 more seconds shaved off of that run.
Hell yeah, guys. 1314, dude.
A week later, he had a new strategy for Kraid. Taking more damage intentionally to give himself more opportunities to
Iframes,
shoot Kraid
boy.
instead of dodging shots.
It's a good idea.
This was enough to cut the Kraid fight in half.
Holy crap, in half?
Oh, and on that very same run, he lowered the record 23 more seconds.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Wow.
The next day, he had an even faster Kraid fight due to taking even more intense.
Look at that. Look at that short hop.
Still have enough health to stay alive. Another
This
new
guy's
world
goated at Metroid.
28 seconds this time.
Dude. Woo!
2.5 weeks after that, he had yet another new Kraid strategy, morphing into a ball to control when he would take damage. Usually he did this to get hit from Kraid's bottom spike. World record by 13 seconds.
Ooh, 12-10.
Need to get
Metroid
that set
McFly
on
has
Discord
world
real quick.
record
I've
2 more
totally
times
forgot about
since
setting this on Discord.
An 11:49 from June 2017 to get the first ever sub 12, and an 11:40 from July 2017.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, that's so close to a 39, man.
That 11:40 still stands as of today. He beat the world record more than a dozen times from March 2017 through July 2017. On the leaderboards, nobody's really close to him. Garrison is the only other person with a time under 15 minutes. And that is the history of the Metroid world record. From the early days of Scott Kessler and Spider Waffle to the crazy grinding of Metroid McFly, the Metroid world record has come a really long way.
Okay, we're good.
McFly has been in control of the record for nearly a year, and he looks pretty unstoppable. But as we all know, records always get beaten. Whether
Yes.
it be from Metroid McFly or from somebody else, somebody will surely be able to beat
Oh, we're
Metroid
at the end of this
faster in the
one. We're
future.
already at the end of this.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, guys, that was the first
Leave a
Summoning
throw in a
Salt
quick plug
video.
For my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/summoning salt. If you like watching games being beaten fast, you're going to want to check it out. Thank you.
Yes, Summoning Salt is a great lad who makes great videos about speedruns. I'm going to quickly clip all of this real fast, guys, so give me just a moment.